So, good morning and welcome to the Mindfulness Tree Meditation community as we come together to meditate and to be present for one another as this online Sangha. So, I'm going to invite the bell and as we move into our sitting meditation. And so, I invite you to hear the bell, listen. The sound of the bell brings me back to my true home. And as we come together, looking at our chapter on loving our enemies, victory over the inner enemy of anger and hatred, we can take a moment to arrive, to settle, to welcome ourselves to our true home. It is a refuge, a place that we can rest when there might be storms, either brewing inside of ourselves or outside. And so notice your posture, aligning the spine from bottom to top. And for this time, I'm going to invite you to formulate an intention, the motivation that brings you here to meditate and to share. Just take a moment, either for a person, for yourself, but to formulate that intention that we'll come back to later in the meditation. And just notice that as we come to the object of our meditation, the breath, that your body is breathing. Just the simple act of inhaling and exhaling helps to balance out the central nervous system. In moments of reactivity, just simply inhaling and exhaling can bring about a sense of calm and ease. Breathing in, I know that I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. Just notice as you breathe if any thoughts or feelings arise. Perhaps some thoughts or some feelings from this past week. And simply allow yourself to name these thoughts and these feelings. Did you notice any reactions? Did one thought lead to another until you realized that I am thinking and then coming back? Anytime we have reactions of anger, fear, disbelief, we are reminded that things change. And sometimes we fall back into a habit of reacting. And to see those thoughts and those feelings as indeed a part of us, the parts of us that we can give care and compassion to, and then share that care and compassion with others who might be in distress. And sometimes we can take the thought or the feeling and place it outside of ourselves, not avoiding it, but examining it with the curiosity and the openness and the spaciousness of mindfulness. Mindfulness gives us that opportunity to pause and to realize that everything changes. And that is the nature of life. Everything changes, but we cannot change some things. When a time comes when we must address injustice or unkindness, coming from a place of mindfulness, we can use critical judgment and ethical commitment from a place that is spacious and deep, place of patience, tolerance, and returning to the breath. By being in the present moment, not going back to past regrets or forward to worries, we find this spacious place of freedom, this place of wisdom and compassion. Now I invite you to come back to that initial intention, that motivation that brought you here today, that keeps you meditating. If it's a person or yourself, hold them in compassion and loving kindness. If it's for something beyond yourself, imagine opening your arms and embracing communities, the world. This is our work. This is our practice. Simply breathing, simply walking. And what a miracle that is. Thank you for your practice and for your presence with each other. And before we go into discussing this chapter in the book, I'm going to read to you a passage. It's not a poem, so I wanted to do it after our meditation, written by Thich Nhat Hanh on anger. And since we're looking at the inner enemy of anger, I thought this would be very appropriate. And I should mention, too, that in South Korea, the most read book by Thich Nhat Hanh is his book that's entitled Anger. So he writes this, and you'll hear some themes from our reading. Anger has the power to burn and destroy. That is why when you notice that anger is coming up, you have to do something right away. It is important to act rather than react. You have to act by inviting the seed of mindfulness to arrive. We breathe in, we breathe out, making steps, generating the energy of mindfulness in order to take care of our anger. Suppose a mother is working in the living room and she hears her baby crying. Chances are she puts down whatever she's doing and goes to her baby's room. She picks up the baby, holds it tenderly in her arms. This is exactly what we can do when the energy of anger comes up. Our anger is our ailing baby. We must nurture it in order to calm it. The practitioner knows that her anger is not her enemy. Her anger is her suffering baby. She must take good care of her baby, using the energy of mindfulness to embrace her anger in the most tender way. She can say, breathing in, I know that anger is in me. Breathing out, I am peacefully holding my anger. When we breathe like this, there are two kinds of energy, the energy of anger and the energy of mindfulness. The energy of mindfulness continues to be generated by the practice of mindful breathing and mindful walking, and to begin to penetrate into the zone of the angry energy. In summer, if you go into a room that is too hot, hopefully you can open a window or turn on a fan or the air conditioner. The cool air does not need to chase the hot air out. Instead, the coolness comes and tenderly embraces the heat. And 15 minutes later, the air is different. So it is with bringing mindfulness to our anger. There is no fighting in this practice. Your anger is not your enemy, it's you. It's not good to do violence to yourself. Don't say that mindfulness is good and anger is evil, and good has to fight evil. In this tradition of mindfulness, there is no battle to be won. Suppose we are feeling a very deep anger that will not go away. We have to be very patient by continuing to generate the energy of mindfulness and tenderly embrace our anger. We will find relief. So thank you for your practice and for your listening.